My parents paraded me around like a trophy ever since I was a kid. That was because they said I was the smartest boy in the city. A lot of people would always compliment me, but a lot of the neighborhood kids would also be jealous, and they didn't want to play with me because their own parents always told them to be more like me. Hi, I'm Sean. I realized early on that if I wanted to make any friends, I had to hide my abilities, and for a while it worked. I was able to live a normal life until I crossed paths with Liam. Liam was the son of a prominent surgeon, and he was the darling of the entire school. While grouped together doing a school project, Liam took the copy of my report card that I'd forgotten between my notebooks. B plus? Seriously? You expect to get into med school with these grades? Oh, give up now, loser. With your family's financial situation and your incompetence, you'll never be a doctor. Nobody even batted an eye at what he said. See, Liam gets away with whatever he said or did to anyone, and that's because his dad donated heavily to the school. He even has an entire library named after him. Not just that, Liam was at the top of the class, so he had a bit of a complex. It's not a surprise that despite his personality, Liam had a lot of admirers. Half the girls in our class alone had already tried to ask him on dates and failed. One of those admirers was my stepsister, Rihanna. I never understood why she liked him so much, but I guess to a poor girl who has never had a single boy interested in her, Liam must have looked like a prince. It was a year after Liam rejected her that my sister began to look different. She ditched her braces and glasses. She started going to the salon to get her hair done. Puberty hit her hard, and almost overnight, she transformed from an ugly duckling to a gorgeous swan. And boys noticed. Suddenly, she had guys asking her for a date left and right, and one of those boys was Liam. Nobody was shocked when Rihanna started dating Liam, but it spelled bad news for me. See, I'd always been her protector. Whenever she would fall for a guy and they'd reject her, whenever someone was messing with her or calling her metal mouth or train tracks because of her braces, I was the one who came to her defense. I was the one she cried to. But now that she was suddenly popular, it was as if she didn't even know me. Her popularity got to her head, and Rihanna ignored me completely. When we became medical interns, I had the bad luck to be grouped together with my stepsister and Liam. There were a bunch of smart and talented people in our group, and they all saw me as the weakest link. It didn't help that Liam took every opportunity to make me look dumb in front of everyone. One time, Liam and Rihanna told me that a guy needed prepping for an operation, and I did what was essentially their job. They pointed out the guy to me, and I went about my work, only to have the surgeon come bursting out of the operating room screaming my name. It turned out I had sent the patient's father instead. From that moment on, everyone at the hospital thought I was a dummy. Our attending and our residents refused to put me on any case that was important. My group was smart, sure, but they were pretty lazy. Most nights on long shifts, they would all just congregate in the on-call room and play games or make out with each other. Meanwhile, I had to pick up their slack, so that in the morning, they wouldn't blame me and make me look even worse to the nurses and the other doctors. I'd been working nonstop on a 36-hour shift when the chief medical officer walked in on our daily rounds in the ER. Everyone was on edge. We all knew it would be awful to slip up around him. I was tense knowing he was going to quiz us. But when he started asking softball questions that even high school students could answer, I began to relax. That was my huge mistake, because my body became too relaxed that I started falling asleep.
Now, which side of the heart is the vena cava located? Sean?
The chief started snapping his fingers at my face.
Dr. Whitlaw!
Yes? Yes. Sorry, Chief. I was just resting my eyes.
And your answer?
Yes, the vena cava, sir.
It's blue. Everyone laughed. My eyes were open, but my mind was totally asleep. And all I could think of when I heard Vina Cava was the fact that it's mostly shown in blue in all the drawings in our books. I had no idea what the chief was asking me about.
Whitlaw, you really are dumb. Even a 5-year-old knows that the Vina Cava is located to the right of the heart.
Dr. Rimsworth is right, obviously. And for that, he gets to become the king of interns. Try to be like him, Dr. Whitlaw. I just made an even bigger fool of myself in front of the chief, everyone's boss in that hospital. But then the people who were laughing at me suddenly stopped. I looked around to what everyone was looking at. A beautiful girl was smiling and waving her hand in the air.
Hi, please help. I don't feel so good.
Then she collapsed. The nurses rushed to her. Liam was the king of interns, and so he was supposed to lead the ER team that day. He just stood there looking like a deer in headlights. When he didn't move, I did. I checked the girl's pulse. I looked for any signs of injury. I didn't find any, except for a tiny bump on her neck that was growing redder and larger by the second. In the middle was a tiny black dot. It's a bee sting. She must be allergic. Nurse, EpiPen, now! As soon as I administered the EpiPen, we rushed her to one of the rooms and readied doses of adrenaline until she stabilized. I ended up saving her life. The chief patted me on the back for the quick thinking I showed, and he stripped Liam of his title. That day, I became the king of the interns. The nurses and the other doctors began to like me. Even Rihanna stopped ignoring me. Quite the opposite, actually. Now she was pestering me all day, every day, to hang out and help her study. One night, while I was trying to get some sleep after a 72-hour shift, I heard the bedroom door creak open. And then I heard Rihanna whisper in my ear,
"Wake up. You gotta help me study."
She kept doing that the whole month until I finally had enough. I started sleeping under my bed just to get away from her. Usually, she'd see my empty bed and give up. But one night, things got weird. Rihanna began talking to herself, thinking that nobody could hear her.
"My love, my sweet brother, love, where are you?"
Then, from a sweet, loving tone, her voice changed into something more menacing.
"You always try to escape me, leave me. You never stay, never, and I don't understand why. I love you best. I always love you best. Once I get my hands on you."
She then started looking through my clothes, and when she found a used shirt, she began to sniff it. And then she put the shirt on a pillow and began hugging and kissing it. I was so scared. I ran away that night. I grabbed a bag and woke a friend up and told him I was going to stay with him for the foreseeable future. I was totally freaked out. My avoidance of Rihanna didn't last long, though. I was walking down the street only a few days later when I saw her through a shop window. She was trying wedding dresses on. I tried to rush past it, but it was too late. Our eyes met. She ran out of that shop, and I bolted. She chased me down the streets, still wearing the wedding dress and screaming my name.
"Take my soul, take my heart, my everything. I give it all to you. And if you don't accept, you're gonna regret it."
I must have ran a marathon just trying to lose her. She chased me across the whole town. I was only saved when I came across a girl standing in front of an alley holding a sign. "Please, hide me." She didn't even ask why.
"One condition. You gotta sign my petition. Oh, and a kiss would be nice."
Easy. Done. The request for a kiss was a bit weird, but I was ready to do whatever it took to escape my loony stepsister. I signed her stupid petition, and I gave her a kiss. And then the girl laughed.
"Perfect! Now we're married."
I had no idea the girl I'd run into was the same girl I saved at the hospital, and she had been hunting me down this whole time. The petition I signed was no petition at all. It was a marriage contract. Mia grabbed me and took me to her father. She delivered the news, and he was very pleased with it. Turned out she was the heiress of a massive pharmaceutical company, and her entire family were just as strange as she was. But it was nothing compared to how my stepsister was, so I guess I considered myself lucky. Mia built me my own hospital, and there I was finally able to be who I was without fear that people wouldn't like me. I was able to solve many medical mysteries, and I even got the chance to formulate my own medicine with the help of Mia's company. I was lauded as a medical genius. Years later, I heard that Rihanna and Liam got kicked out of the hospital we all used to work for, and they came running to Mercy West to apply for a job. They saw me bandaging up a patient in the ER, and Liam immediately went back to his old ways.
Well, 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 look who it is. You disappeared, man. So, you still trying to make the doctor thing happen? Told you, it's never gonna happen.
Isn't it? I finally put on the doctor's coat that had my name on it. I took it off so I wouldn't stain it because my wife was always giving me hell every time she did the laundry. Under my name were the words Chief of Medicine. Liam went down on his knees and begged me for a job right there. It was hilarious. I did end up hiring him as a janitor. I told him it was the only job he was qualified for, and he took it. Turned out he was desperate.
We can finally be together again.
Rihanna attached herself to me and wouldn't let go until a gorgeous woman came down the stairs in a dress that sparkled with jewels. "Hun, we're gonna be late for the awards. Do you have your speech ready?" That night, I was supposed to accept an award for my medical achievements. And wasn't it just pure karma that the two people who made my life hell were there to witness my biggest moment? I left them both gawking at how far I'd come, and as the hospital doors closed behind us, I kissed my beautiful, supportive wife.